The monk wakes before he means to. It is the hour the forest holds its breath, past the cicadas, before the doves. Outside his kuti, beyond the wooden shutter, something is making a sound he has never heard a living thing make. Wet, patient, the sound of a throat trying and failing to swallow. He sits up in the dark. The oil lamp is out. Through the slats of the shutter, he can see the white wall of the bhat, the ordination hall, lit a little by the moon. And on that wall, drawn long across the whitewash, is a shadow that should not fit on a wall. It is reaching upward. It is still unfolding. Welcome to Whispers of Siam. I'm your narrator. Tonight we go into the forest, to a wat at the edge of a village in old Siam, and we sit beside a monk who has heard something he cannot name. We are going to talk about a hunger so vast it has its own realm in the Buddhist cosmos, a hunger that walks. This is the story of the Pret. The word Pret comes from the Pali, peta. In English, you will sometimes see it written as preta. It does not mean ghost, exactly. It means the one who has gone before. In the older Buddhist cosmologies of mainland Southeast Asia, Pret are not the spirits of the recently dead. They are a kind of being all their own, a realm of beings, a realm of hunger. The Buddhist universe, as it was taught across Siam and Laos and Burma, has 6 realms. Gods at the top, humans in the middle, animals below us. Below the animals, 3 darker realms, the hells, the asuras, the warring half-gods, and the hungry ghosts, the Pret. The cosmos is not flat, it is layered, and every layer is a consequence of what was done in the layer above. A person becomes a Pret by their own hand, not by murder, not by accident, by greed, by the slow, lifelong refusal to give. The miser who hoarded rice while the village starved. The merchant who weighed his scales heavy and his neighbor's scales light. The relative who took what was meant for the dead. When such a person dies, the old teachings say, the body falls, but the hunger does not. The hunger gets a new body, a body shaped exactly for what the soul became, a body designed by karma to make satisfaction impossible. The Pret is not punished by fire. The Pret is punished by what it always was, given form. The form is famous across every country where Theravada Buddhism took root. A Pret is enormous. Some accounts say as tall as a sugar palm. Some accounts say as tall as the temple itself. The belly is swollen, distended, the belly of a being in permanent starvation. The limbs are thin as bamboo, and the mouth is the cruelty of the whole design, is no wider than the eye of a needle. This is the punishment, the hunger of a giant, the throat of a thread. The Pret can see food. The Pret can smell food. The Pret cannot eat. Whatever it reaches for turns, in the moment of reaching, into ash, or into fire, or into something it cannot swallow. The realm of the hungry ghosts is the realm of a hunger that has no door. And yet the Pret is not bound only to its realm. The old texts are clear on this. The hungry ghosts walk in our world too. They drift along the edges of villages at night. They linger near temples, where the chanting reminds them of what they were. They wait at the cremation grounds. They wait especially where the living come to give. Which brings us back to the monk in his kuti, and to the shadow on the bhat wall. He does not move. He has been trained not to move. He listens, and the sound resolves into something he can almost name. The sound of a mouth too small for the breath behind it. He recognizes then what is outside. A young monk would have run. An old monk would have prayed. He is somewhere between. He does what the abbot taught him to do, years ago for a night like this. He reaches, in the dark, for the small brass bowl by his sleeping mat. He fills it with the rice he had set aside for morning. He sets it outside the door. He does not open the shutter to look. This is the oldest rule. You do not refuse a Pret. You do not engage a Pret. You do not pity a Pret openly. You give. You step back. You let the giving be the whole of the encounter. The texts are full of warnings about what happens to those who turn a hungry ghost away from the door. The rice in the bowl is not a meal. It is a boundary. In the morning, the bowl is on its side. The rice is gone. The earth around the bowl is undisturbed. No footprint, no mark. He picks up the bowl and washes it 3 times in the well behind the kuti. He does not speak of the night to the other monks for a long time. Some things, the abbot used to say, are not made smaller by being shared. The Pret in our story does not return. They rarely do, once given. But across Siam, and across Cambodia, and Laos, and Sri Lanka, wherever the old texts were carried, there are countless versions of this same encounter. The hunter who hears weeping in the forest, the widow who finds a thin shape standing at the rice pot, the boy who looks up at the Wat wall and sees the shadow that does not match its owner. Every version ends the same way, with giving. Because in the Buddhist understanding, the Pret cannot be defeated. It cannot be exorcised. It cannot be argued with. It can only be eased, and only by an act that the Pret itself, in its previous life, refused to perform. This is why, once a year, an entire country turns toward the hungry ghosts. The festival is called Wan Sart Thai. It falls in the 10th lunar month, late in the rainy season, when the rice has not yet been harvested and the air is heavy. For one day, the gates between the realms are said to thin. The Pret are said to walk. On Wan Sart Thai, families across Thailand wake early and prepare a specific dish, Kriya Sart, a sticky mass of rice, sesame, peanut, coconut, and palm sugar. It is offered at the temple, in alms bowls, in the cool gray light just after dawn. It is offered for the dead. It is offered specifically for the relatives who became Pret, the ones the family does not name out loud. The belief is precise. On this one day, food given in merit to the monks can be received by the hungry ghosts of one's own lineage. The thread-thin mouth does not block it. The food becomes merit. The merit becomes a kind of nourishment a Pret can actually take in. For one day a year, the cosmos lets a door open. Families walk through it on behalf of the dead. You will see grandmothers at the Wat that morning who you do not see at the Wat any other morning. You will see them with small bundles wrapped in banana leaf, kneeling at the foot of the shetty, naming relatives no one else remembers. They are feeding a hunger that has been carrying their family name for a very long time. This is what the Pret teaches in the Thai understanding. Not fear, not even horror exactly. The Pret is a warning, carved into the shape of a body. It says, the way you live becomes the body you wear next. The greed you refuse to release in this life will be the throat you cannot swallow through in the next. And it says something else too, something the festival makes plain, that the dead are not done with us, that the lineages we belong to carry hungers that began long before we did, that a grandmother kneeling at dawn with a packet of sticky rice is, in her own way, paying a debt she did not herself incur. In the modern city, the festival has quieted. In Bangkok, in Chiang Mai, fewer young people know the names of the relatives they are meant to feed. Kriya Sart is sold in plastic packets at the 7-Eleven. The cosmos has not gone anywhere. The cosmos is patient. the grandmothers still kneel. And in the forest watts, a monk waking to a wet, patient sound outside his kuti still knows what to do. The bowl is still by the door. The rice is still set aside. The boundary is still held by an act of giving, performed in the dark, by someone who does not need to see what stands on the other side of the shutter. The Pret is, in the end, the loneliest figure in the Buddhist cosmos. The hells are crowded. The animal realm is full of life. Even the asuras have their armies. The Pret walks alone between worlds, carrying a body shaped for a hunger no one ever satisfied. It is hard when you sit with the legend long enough to hold only fear for it. Pity creeps in. The texts allow that. Pity is a kind of giving too. There is a phrase in old Thai sermons about the Pret. It is said that the Pret can be saved, released, eased, sent on toward a better rebirth, only by the merit of the living, only by us. The cosmos has handed the door to our side. Whether we open it on Wan Sart Thai or any other dawn is the whole of the question the legend is asking. So tonight, if you remember anyone in your family who never quite learned how to give, anyone who carried a hunger they could not name, you might think of them for a moment. You do not need to kneel at a chedi. You do not need to know the rituals. The intention, the older monks say, is most of the offering. Thank you for walking the forest path with me tonight. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next whisper.